So every year, the family and I always went on a camping trip. It was around Memorial Day. We do it for my mom's birthday. And around, I think it was around 2001, we went on this particular camping trip. And it started with my dad. You have to go back to the area of where we camp. Is you cross a field, a creek, a couple more fields, and a little small creek. And we was on the corner of this one field where the creek runs this way and the river meets it this way. So it's like at a T. And we're back in a big gully of trees. And when we got there, it was about the second day, and my dad and myself had to go out and get some ice. And as we were leaving, my dad, he's an avid hunter, arrowhead hunter, deer hunter. He's always lollygagging and looking. But when we left that particular day, he kept looking behind him out the window. And I'm like, Dad, what are you looking at? He's nothing. I said, okay, a little further. He stops the truck, just slams on his brakes, stops the truck, and he completely looks out the window back. I'm like, Dad, quit arrowhead hunting and let's go. What are you looking at? He's like, I thought I saw something. I'm like, what did you see? He said, never mind, just, I don't know. Okay, never brought it up again. That was the end of that. We got our ice, went back. The second day there, or second night, I should say, we were all in our tents, and we kept hearing commotions in the creek, in the river. But one particular moment was, it sounded like a tree or something huge was either splashed, thrown in the river. It almost sounded like somebody fell in the river. It was so loud. It was right behind us. We let it go thinking there's fishermen or somebody there messing with us or whatever. We just let it go. The third or fourth night, I think it was the fourth night of the week there, a friend and myself was going to the bathroom. Now, to go to the bathroom was, we walked the creek line, which is a high bank about 4.5 feet up from the creek bed. And the bathroom is at the very end of this path. And we was going to the bathroom, and as I was walking to the bathroom, it was about dusky dark, but only in the wooded area. It was still light outside, but getting dusky dark in the woods. And as I was going to the bathroom, the smell, there was just a smell that hit me that was different than I'd smelled since we'd been there. But then I thought, okay, the bathroom's back here. It's, it's pretty ripe. So we let that go. It's another clue that we just dismissed, and went on to the bathroom. And I went first and come out. And as I was coming out, it just had this eerie feeling like you're being watched, which I had it going in, but it just really hit you going out. And I was walking back just a little bit away from the bathroom, and something just caught my eye to go to the edge of the creek bank. There was like little noises or something that just tells you to go over there. And when I walked to the edge of the creek bed, I was looking around, just panning. I didn't see anything, and and then I heard a noise. It was more like a rustle or a brush type thing. And I saw it. It was standing right there by a tree, but it was kind of hid behind the tree, but enough that I could see it standing there. And then it just kind of peeped out around the tree, and it was looking at me. It didn't move its body, it just moved its head, just enough out from behind the tree. And I'm still standing there looking like, what am I looking at? And like I said, now I'm 4.5 foot, maybe 5 foot at the time, I don't know, because I was 19, 20. And I'm up on this bank that's at least 4.5 feet from down at the creek. And this thing was standing in the creek, not on a bank, just in the creek. And we were eye level to each other. And it grunted. And as soon as it grunted, I took off. I ran out of my shoes. I have never been so scared in my life of whatever it was I saw. But the details of it, now that I think back, was its eyes. Its eyes was not a red, like a stop sign red, but like a blood or like a maroon, just a deep red. And its hair, it was like a dark brown, reddish color, and it was silky, smooth, it was clean. It wasn't any kind of matted up creature that you would think. But anyway, when it grunted, I ran back to camp, ran out of my shoes, terrified, and I was crying. All of them was laughing at me like, what'd you see? I couldn't talk, couldn't tell them. So the next night, we let it go, whatever. And then the next day, my dad and myself went arrowhead hunting. My uncle was fishing, and that left my aunt, cousin, and mom at camp. And when we got back, they were all three in a tent. And my dad's like, what in the world are you all doing? And my aunt had a gun. My mom had a fire poker, I think, and they had my cousin sandwiched in the middle of them. And my dad's like, what are you all doing? And my mom's like, there was something that just walked out of the creek, and it just had hair. Dad's like, what do you mean it had hair? She said, I don't know. I didn't see it, whatever. She said, I just know it held up its arm, and it just had hair. And Dad's like, was it a person? Was it an animal? She said, I don't know. It just had long, stringy hair. It just had hair. Mm-hmm. And she said she put everybody in a tent. That's when we found them. And that was it. It was basically our experiences until we all got home. Nobody talked about it. It was just everything added up. But when we got home, we was all sitting down for dinner, and everybody was talking about our camping trip. And then Dad's like, you know what I saw? It came out of the forest. It looked hairy, and it went right back in. And they're like, you said you saw something. And I'm like, yeah, whatever I saw was eye level, big red eyes, had hair. And I said, you all made fun of me. And then my mom saw something where she thought she saw something walked out of the creek with hair. And that was all within a week.
You mentioned your dad did not want to tell you initially because why?
Being made fun of.
Yeah.
Nobody would believe him.
Right.
It was that type of thing. The same way with me, except I couldn't, because I was so tore up. I couldn't talk. I was crying. I was tore up. I'm telling you, the fear of God came over me. It's a feeling that, I don't know, until you experience it. But going back and thinking about it, it's still etched in my mind. It's like it happened yesterday. I can still see it, know where it was standing, knew what it looked like its body. It didn't have shoulders per se, but its head came down like even with its shoulders, if you want to call them shoulders. And it's just straight down. It was just, I call it boxy.
Boxy?
Yep.
How far was it from you, would you say?
Not far at all. It was from here to maybe 5 feet. Mm-hmm. And it was just standing there by a tree. But I would have never saw it. I'm a non-observant person, so I would have never saw it. And it was just standing there in behind that tree. And it probably was there when we walked down. And I wasn't paying attention. But the smell was there. The noises was there, because it was almost like it was trying to get our attention with little noises. Mm-hmm. But I never paid attention. And then on the way back, I thought, just that eerie feeling, I thought somebody's down in that creek trying to mess with us or, play a joke or whatever. And then when I walked over there and it peeped out, and what got me, that made me believe it the most, is me standing up on that bank and knowing this was down in the creek and we're at eye level of each other.
It was tall.
It was tall.
Was it daylight out still?
No, it was daylight outside of the forest. But inside the forest is about now getting dusky dark, but darker in the woods than it is on the outside.
Right. So there's enough light to see it.
Yes.
Could you make out any detail of the face?
Just the color of the eyes.
Just the color of the eyes.
Just the color, because to be honest, I did not stick around to see, because when it made those 2 distinct grunts, I left. I took off running. I left my shoes. I did not go to the bathroom the rest of the week. I left it.
I bet.
It was gone. Now I wish that I'd stuck around to see, but I'm telling you, the fear, I've never had anything terrify me as much.
The hair length, was the hair long, short,
long,
or medium?
Long.
Long. Was
very
it
long.
Could you tell, was it in the face? Was it around the face?
It was all in the face, but around the eyes, I didn't see a mouth, but I saw eyes, and I thought of what I could see was an area for a nose. But I didn't see any type of a mouth.
Okay.
but the hair was all the way around except for the blank spaces of eyes and the nose. But the eyes were far apart, and they were almost like a maroon or a blood red. It wasn't like bright, shiny red. It was just a deep reddish color.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.